Hey guys, and today we've got an interesting repair. This laptop here belongs to a local surgeon, and unfortunately for him, he spilled a cup of coffee on it, which sucks because there's a lot of important data on this laptop and the hospital needs it. So they sent it to us earlier today, and we're gonna go ahead and take a look at it. It's the Lenovo Ideapad 5. The model number is 16AH-P9. So let's get started. Right here. This is the laptop that had the coffee spilled on it. We have yet to open this. You can kind of already tell signs of coffee just by looking right here. And when I had this laptop leaning to the left, it started spilling some coffee on my fingers. So clearly there's a lot of coffee in here. We're gonna open this up and we shall see what we find. Let's take a look. Okay, so we've got 7 screws. These are going to be T4 screws. The doctor did tell us this just happened about an hour ago. I am expecting to still find fresh coffee in here. I'm gonna see if I can guess the type of roast as well. My wife is a coffee fiend, so I have a lot of experience with some coffee because of her. All right, let's bring out our razor blade and see if we can create an opening. Yes, we did. And Luffy is gonna give us one of his picks. Thank you, Luffy. Oh, look, definitely. Coffee right there, right here. I'm sure you guys can see this. Coffee all over the battery. That's not a good sign. I'm not sure if this is gonna turn back on once we're done, but we'll try it. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go ahead and remove this battery and we'll give it a clean. Definitely wanna unplug it from the board actually first. So let's see if we can just pull this out, okay? So there is no longer power going to the board. I am gonna press the power button and just drain the board of any excess power. Oh, there's coffee here too. There's coffee everywhere. Will this turn on after we're done? Now, we work on water damaged devices quite a lot, and I think on our channel we have a few computer repairs or phone repairs or tablet repairs with lots of water. In fact, we got an iPad just a few days ago, or yesterday actually. Oh, I'm sorry, the day before. We were closed on Labor Day, and this was submerged in a bathtub right here too. So we get them quite often. And that same customer brought us this iPad, pretty beat up condition. We're probably gonna make a video for this one right here. We get them quite often, water damaged devices, and they're not the easiest repairs. I've mentioned it multiple times on our channel. We don't offer any warranty on them just because they are unpredictable. Oh, look at that. Yeah, there's coffee everywhere. Get a paper towel. Okay, let's just go ahead and wipe down this battery first. Okay, battery has been wiped down. Put the battery aside. There's definitely coffee in every place on this laptop. So we're gonna go ahead and start wiping down the areas that have coffee on them. And then we'll go ahead with a clean isopropyl alcohol. I don't know if this trackpad will work. There was definitely coffee on a big chip right here on this trackpad. So I'm not sure if the trackpad will work because on that main chip on the trackpad had a lot of coffee on it. So we wipe that down. We'll clean it with alcohol right now in a few moments. Okay, so when we press the power button, it goes to this small daughter board. It registers on this board and sends that data via this cable. And this cable probably makes a connection to the bottom of the board, and then it tells the motherboard to turn on. So we're either having issues on this board or this one, which I'm going to assume here, and I just saw something very interesting at this area specifically. In this area, I do see signs of corrosion and rust already. So we're gonna go put this underneath the microscope and we'll do a clean. But before we do that, we're gonna go ahead and disassemble this motherboard first. Let's disassemble. And the reason why I'm gonna disassemble this board is so I can have a better idea of what I'm dealing with underneath a microscope. And we have one of these warranty stickers. Let's see if I could remove it without damaging it. I did damage it just a tiny bit. Okay, let's put this sticker aside. I'm probably gonna end up throwing it away. We'll lift up this right hinge. It is holding down this main board. And we've got 2 more screws on the very top. And these screws do have indicators. That white mark, and there's another white mark right there. And there is one right here. So these do tell us that the motherboard has a screw in that location, which are very helpful indicators. All right. So now that the hinge is lifted, I believe the motherboard should come off. Wait, I still have this long cable and that cable. Well, let's remove the fan. It's funny how repairs work. For you to remove one thing, you have to remove another. And for you to remove the other, you have to remove another. So you have to remove 10 different components just to get to where you're trying to work on. Okay, so here's the fan. Still have to clean that fan. Wow, is that a lot? Oh yeah, there is some coffee here too. Okay, let's pick up this cable and pry it a bit carefully. I'm pretty sure this is what's holding down the main board. Yep, there it is. And look, there's more coffee there. So we just took off the motherboard and we found some coffee right here as well on the back of it. All right, so there's an area right here with a lot of corrosion. You probably won't be able to see it here, but let's look underneath the microscope. Okay, so let's look at the place that I was pointing at. So there's some right here. It looks like it's some coffee. But what I was pointing at, some right there. Oh, right here. Wow. Do you see that? That is a lot of corrosion. And this happened an hour ago. Look at all this damage. So I think the main issue that this customer is having is on that area where we just pointed out. I'm gonna go ahead and flip this upside down and see if we have any other places. This is the other side of the board. I don't see anything standing out. Yeah, nothing stands out here. So for now, let's focus on the area that has the chaos. So alcohol, and then we'll just brush it off. I'm gonna test a few of these capacitors just to see if they're still working. Even though this happened 1 hour ago, as you can see, a lot of damage was already done. Let's go ahead and remove this SSD so we can see. And underneath the SSD, there's also coffee. Do we have any coffee on the actual SSD? Looks okay. So now that we have that removed, okay, so you guys can have perspective of how small these damaged components are. Look at that component right here. Let's bring this down. That component is smaller than the letter E on this penny. So these are very, very small. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and test out this component and see if this component is shorted to ground. So what we're gonna test here for is if it beeps. If it beeps, long beep, it tells us there is a short on the capacitor. Well, none are shorted to ground. I think that's a problem. I'm not 100% experienced with soldering. I could do basic soldering skills. I'm gonna do a little more cleaning before we start testing here. Let's plug it in and test. Let's see if that resolved any issues. If it did not, it's likely we're gonna have to replace the motherboard. I wanna put everything back as it was. I wanna make sure all the cables, that goes there. Let's bring back the SSD. We've already cleaned off the SSD, and let's plug that in. So it's pretty crazy how in about an hour, we had that entire mess in one of the corners underneath the microscope. Capacitor seems to have shorted, at least from what we can tell. Or at least from what we can tell, it did not short, but it looked pretty bad. At least 2 of them. I think it's beyond our capabilities, unless if we send this to our lab and they do board work there. But hopefully we don't have to do that. Will it work? I'm not sure. Put this fan back. Oh wait, this cable has some coffee. Oh, I think we found the problem. Oh, another issue right there. So right here, we also noticed that this is where the power button clicks and sends its data through this cable. So we're definitely gonna have to clean that out. Q-tips, alcohol. Wow, look at that. No way this is just from coffee. That's crazy. We're gonna go ahead and actually, let's clean the connector itself, because I do see some sludge on it. Oh, wait, actually, I do see some issues here. I think this connector needs to be replaced, but it'd be easier to just replace the actual board. I could have that as a problem. And the other side needs to be cleaned. So I have noticed, for now at least, 2 issues. The first was what we cleaned underneath the motherboard, and the second is this connector right here. Okay. So from what I can tell during this job, we've noticed two main issues. The very first issue being the cleaning that we did right here, where all that corrosion and rust happened. And then second issue is this long cable and then that connector right here, that FPC connector. So we may have to replace this entire component if this part works, but we wouldn't know until we actually replace this if this is not turning on. So let's see. Okay, so we have all the cables in place. We're just gonna go ahead and start screwing all the screws where they belong. Okay, battery is right here. I'm gonna wear some glasses here just in case it pops in my face before I plug this in. Battery is plugged in. Everything seems to be plugged in. Let's just screw this battery. Either way, we can't do much after this point. I'm not sure if this is gonna work or not, but if it does, that'll be really cool. If it doesn't, not a big deal. We'll have to replace a few components to test. So just in case it doesn't work, we have this component that I'd like to replace, this component I'd like to replace, and unfortunately the main board as well. So we have 3 different things. That's a lot of parts technically for this guy. Hopefully we don't have to replace anything. Let's go ahead and attempt to turn on. If that doesn't work, we're gonna throw it on the charger. And I think we did some magic. The keyboard just lit up. Oh, the fan just stopped, but the keyboard still lit up. Or possibly they may have screen issues. Oh, there it is. Let's go. There it is. Wow. Will it stay on? Is it gonna have other issues? Probably, but water damage devices, this is the risk. And there it is. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. This was interesting. Water damage is unpredictable, but we got lucky on this one. We'll go ahead and turn it on, test it just to make sure and see if it needs anything else or not. If it doesn't, we'll call the customer and have them pick it up. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a cool one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave us a comment down below if you liked it or if you had any issues similar to this in the past, and we'll see you guys on the next one.